Hello, hello. It's getting a bit dark out here. So I had an interesting experience today. I entitled this Rebuilding or Letting Go. So for those that don't know, my work background, etc., I do IT support. I'm an engineer by trade. We're finally getting into a point after the downfall of civilization, or the V, or whatever we just went through, where in-person meetings are arising again. And it's beautiful to see that a lot of the fear, the masks, the distancing, etc., has kind of faded away. And I got to see that firsthand. Just a vendor was holding a get-together and drinks and hors d'oeuvres and kind of a free flow of chatting to get to know each other. And it got really clear for me that almost the last 2.5 years kind of tore me down. It removed that social interaction was the first thing, so having that come back was quite interesting to see. And then at the same time, just seeing how my self-definition had been torn down by not being able to be in close quarters with people, not being able to have that physical contact, and then this other layer of self-definition that got torn down. Like, okay, I'm an expert, and being able to interact with people in a non like Zoom or virtual environment created all these weird new things, and it also showed me how much I don't want to be involved in them. Like social conditions where you're trying to kind of puff yourself up, I guess is the words I'd use, to a person and say, hey, I'm good, or I'm special, and here's all my knowledge. I saw lots of that going on. I saw people trying to prove themselves and all this kind of making themselves better than others by, I traveled a lot and I know all this stuff or whatever. But it was just like a whole bunch of like huffing and puffing, and I started to realize how much we did that, where the removal of being able to connect socially and be in community spaces was torn down. And now we're looking at rebuilding them, and how much of it, especially female conversations. I met with some female sales reps, and there's an element of dressing nice and being sexual about your presentation that didn't really appeal to me, but it was kind of like that's an old pattern that is used in IT and tech environments where some of that's happening, and the men are kind of fluffing up their feathers and trying to be attractive to them and that kind of stuff. So is this stuff that we want to rebuild, or is this stuff that is now being able to be let go, and we can see it and say, okay, this wasn't really adding much to anything, but it was part of societal conditioning and other things. So I'm having this really, like, I wouldn't call it deja vu, but this really, like, holy fuck, look at how these crazy things that we did before that were part of conditioning or felt right now just feel kind of flat. I could feel the connecting at all these other levels that weren't business levels, that were part of how we normally do things, how we interact as a male and a female. Maybe it's as a salesman or a saleswoman and as a client, and the craziness of it, because really I wasn't looking for connection or relationship with anyone, but just felt that energy. And so it's giving me this interesting chance to kind of wash away the old ways and start to, what would I insert instead? How is a client situation, how does that work now? And what's the difference between a client and an acquaintance, or somebody you want to have a relationship with? All these old patterns started to show up, and it was just so surreal. It just felt like, holy cow, this is crap. Why did we do it that way? So right now I'm seeing we're getting this awesome opportunity to let go, and we're getting put it and washed through old situations, old patterns, old conditions, and we're being given the opportunity to see them in new eyes. Maybe you're seeing that too, and what do we do with that? And it doesn't mean we have to judge or say anybody's bad or they shouldn't do that. I think it's more just about choosing not to interact in that way anymore, and making a new choice and saying, okay, these are hollow, and this is stuff that I used to do. Why am I doing it? And I really like to operate in truth and directness, where I saw a lot of situations where everything was kind of beat around the bush and not really being clear about what people wanted, and it creates this weird toxic mix of people not being sure of themselves and not being sure if the interaction's safe or what it's for or what it's meaning. So anyways, this is part of the process. I'm seeing it now. It's kind of surreal. But dive into these opportunities. Go into them. Start to diagnose them. See how they're serving you, where the confusion is. How would you make it better? Feels good to be able to look at them. I came out feeling really confident, feeling like I'm a really integral person. And I saw a lot of people were drawn to me, and they wanted to talk to me. They didn't know why they wanted to talk to me. They just wanted to feel that energy and to feel that positive, and they'd stick around me, and it drew women in, which feels really good. And it shows that I've got something to offer, and I've got confidence, and my confidence boomed up even more now because I haven't been in those situations for a while, and I'm a new person, and being that new person, how could I see that reflection unless I had situations like this? So a lot of really cool openings going on. I'm really feeling good about myself. I'm really feeling well dressed and feel good. I'll put a picture on my timeline to show how I feel. And I dressed up. I put a dress shirt on, some dress pants, my cowboy boots, wore a special blue crystal, and just knowing who I was. And it was kind of funny. It's like some women were really uncomfortable with how confident I was, and then other women were very direct, and that was new to me. I know who I am. I don't really care, and I honestly saw that the ones that weren't drawn to me or whatever were not really sure of themselves. So that was a good feeling, that I'm drawing in the types of people that have the same awareness as I do. And I'm finding some of the women that are drawn in aren't quite sure, but they like what I'm showing, and confidence and respect, and it felt good to see. And it made me just feel how well put together I am now, and that's coming from self-love. That's coming from all this deep self-exploration that I'm doing, and really showing me I've made progress. And where's this happening for you? Are you put in situations like this? Are you confident? Are you a person that people trust? Are you a person that creates situations that are unclear, or creates situations that are really direct and communicative in a loving, respectful way for everyone? I think that's a lot of what's coming up underneath. These are all facets that were buried in the past, and it's becoming more and more important for people to show them now. So hopefully that makes sense, and it helps broaden your awareness, and maybe you're getting put through those same tests. Maybe you're getting opportunities to see yourself in new light. Use them, and use it for self-reflection. Don't waste them, because there's a lot of opportunities, and it's really deep stuff, just to be able to perceive yourself and to recognize that how much you've grown. And I think that's a lot of what's going on right now. So I love you all. I thank you for listening. And if you got some comments, put them in below. Otherwise, I wish you a very good night and love you all. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.